What happened is, let's get back to the pagans and their sons of God, messiahs. There were many sons of God, messiahs, and they all had these mothers, you see. And these mothers were glorified, and they were called queens of heaven because they had married the father. Then the son and the mother somehow took vengeance upon the father because the father had a roving eye or had some kind of other problem that they didn't like. And besides, mothers always tend to favor the sons over the father after a bit. This is a problem you ladies have, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's called disloyalty. Okay, and it's a cause of your divorce. I'm going to tell you, it goes very, very deep, so be careful.
Mm.
You didn't marry your son, you married your husband. He's your caliph, not your son. Okay, this is a big problem, and it's one of the reasons mother-in-laws become overbearing because they stop listening to their husbands, and they try to manage their sons' lives,
Hmm.
favor the son too much. In any case, this mother of God was endemic. It was everywhere in the pagan world. Everywhere every which way you turned, it doesn't matter, north, south, east, or west, there were mothers of God. The three goddesses outside of Mecca were subject to this. Okay. One of them, Alat, represented the mother of God
Mm.
for the Syrians.
Mm.
Oh, in what was Assyria. So this religion, this false religion, was everywhere, and Muhammad came to drive it out of the promised land, as I've discussed before. Well, after uh, Muawiyah
So,
threw
so,
his
so
coup,
getting rid of idols wasn't just about getting rid of idols only. It was
no,
about getting rid of the false archetypes or the false
yes,
manifestation that those
yes,
idols represented,
yes,
uh, which I think is something that we haven't really looked into in
no.
terms of what idols they were, what were the archetypes they were supposed to represent,
Mm.
and just that would be an interesting study. Um, okay, so yes.
So what happened was that slowly but surely, this mother of God and this son of God system that was established by Cain way back when, and then was brought west, okay, first in Sumer, in Akkad, and then up into Babylonia, and then into Anatolia, and it spread all over the world in every direction from there. This system was brought back into service. It's the system of the king. And when you think of the king, you think of the pirate king. Throw out this Lord of the Rings idea. There are very, very few chivalrous kings. Okay, the whole system is wrong. Okay, in order to understand that, you have to go back to Prophet Samuel, and Prophet Samuel was wringing his hair and
It's
pulling.
interesting you mentioned king with being pirate because in Sutul Kahf, the same chapter that I was just talking about earlier,
Yes,
mentions about how Khidr says, they're on a boat and he puts a hole in the boat, and then when he gives the explanation, is because there is a king, meaning a
yes,
pirate,
yes,
right, who's going to take your boat, was going to take the boat, but in order
yes,
for Allah's blessing not allow that, he put a small hole there for the time being.
yes, yes. This is it. You see, and so those who you have to be appointed to fight this system. You have to be appointed. You have to be organized. You have to be under the correct divine order. It could be done, but you have to anoint. You have to anoint and appoint a Khalifa, and this Khalifa has to be spot on with his spirituality and with its manifestation in the deen. And then the men around him, they have to form a circle of defense. Okay, they can't leave his back open so somebody can stab him in the back while he's at prayer.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what happened.
Right, that's what happened. Yeah.
That's what happened because they were not informed. and they were not vigilant. They were not doing their best.
Mm.
Okay? This is why Islam fell and is still falling, because the men are not doing their best. And when men don't do their best, the women get antsy.
Mm.
Okay? If you have a man who's doing his best and he stands on that manhood, the women will not bother him.
Mm.
I guarantee you. They will serve him, they will service him, and they will see that nobody troubles him.
Mm.
Okay? That's what a real matriarch does. It's
Mm.
one of her jobs. This is not being done in the Ummah. It
Mm.
hasn't been done for a very long time. This
Mm.
is the archetype.
Mm.
Okay. This is why I speak in archetypes, because it does away with all the psychological nonsense. I prefer to use another word, but I'm being polite.
Okay.
Now, so the Christians were not Christians. We can get back there. They were the disciples, the Ummah of Yehoshua, who was the son of Mary, or Miriam as we know him, and as we know her.